It's been 11 months since I've last done an old sketchbook tour, and it's about time I re-up on the embarrassment. So hi everyone, I'm Ward, and welcome to my channel Ward Draws a Lot, and today I'm going to embarrass myself yet again by showing my old sketches from high school. Every school year I would do about 2 sketchbooks, and at this point in my life I think it was my junior year of high school. So we're going to start off with the light blue sketchbook, which I believe was a gift. I can't remember from who, but thank you whoever it was if you come across this, which you probably won't. We're going to start off with the nice first page here. Oh boy. I think originally this was supposed to be the dude on the bottom laying down. And then I came up with the idea of putting another dude on the opposite side, and then they're both kind of like in this void. Yeah, that's all I remember from that one, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did do it with Crayola color pencils and a black Sharpie marker, though. That's what I remember from this. Oh, this drawing. Whoa, this drawing. Okay, if this doesn't scream 2012, I can't even look at this. Like, I'm talking, but I'm not looking at the drawing. The I can swing my sword shirt with the Minecraft skateboard, and I just... Wow, and then the woo awesome sauce on the side. Wow, I am just... It hurts. It really hurts. You guys don't understand. I am in physical pain right now. Okay, thank you. The page turned. Okay. So from this wonderful piece of artwork we have in front of us, we could tell that the head on this drawing is about the same size as the torso. Okay. Always been horrible at proportions. Not gonna lie to you guys. It wasn't until only in the last few years have I even gotten remotely okay at it. The concept was kind of nice. I kind of like her outfit, I'm not gonna lie to you. This one's actually kind of coherent in comparison to everything else, and the bubbles are cute. This drawing, I know 100%, was supposed to be a drawing from Vampire Night, okay? Now, I don't know what happened exactly, but what I think went down was that I started drawing the pose and stuff, but, like, I messed up, and then I just turned it into my own thing, and I was like, alright, you know, we'll just go down that route since I can't draw the original pose myself anyway. Now, what I would like about this sketchbook, looking from like a future lens, is that I was much more open to experiment with colors, because I wouldn't do that before, and I'm pretty sure a majority of these were Crayola color pencils. This drawing right here, I don't remember where she's from. I know it's from like a video game or an anime or something. I don't remember exactly, but I remember I was really happy with the outcome. I thought that she was fairly proportionate and it was colored in very nice, but then again, that was like another one of those drawings that I just kind of like copied directly from a previously drawn image. Now, this is a drawing of an OC. I actually kind of like her. I don't know if I did back then, but looking at her now, I think that she's pretty cute. She's fairly proportionate compared to a lot of my other drawings. The colors are everywhere, and the clothes design is a little wild, but she's kind of cute. I like her, and this is definitely for the running of which character should I redraw. I have a few that I've done. I might do a poll and ask you guys which one you'd like to see me redraw. Well, now this character, yeah, okay, so I obviously had trouble with anatomy. We could tell this, right? You could see the, very square booba and the very square abs, and, just the overall anatomy, there's something wrong. At this point, I've said this before in different old sketchbook tours, I just draw to draw. It wasn't really to get better or to make things look the best, I just drew because it made me happy. Now, for this drawing, I think some inspiration from Alice in the Country series kind of came from. It was like a bunch of different mangas that you would read, and they would have like different storylines with like characters from Alice in the Country of Hearts or Alice in Wonderland, whatever. I think I took some inspiration from like the way they were dressed and kind of made this character. I don't think the drawing was too bad considering how much worse I've done previously. Here is, of course, a Hatsune Miku. I think it is, like, a rite of passage for any kid who draws and watches anime to draw a Hatsune Miku at some point in their life. This one was from a sticker that a friend had given me. I don't know if I still have it or where it could be, but if I find it, I'll put the picture up. I think she came out pretty alright, actually. I'm surprised at how nice it looks. Her face is a little wide, and, of course, proportions are a little weird because it's me drawing it, but I think it looks nice overall. Oh, I had this little phase, right, where I was like, yo, I want to learn graffiti because I want to do graffiti art. Okay. I don't have the heart for that. So I took like a template that I had found online at that time. I just like Googled up graffiti letter templates, and I was like, yeah, let's try it out. So I thought it was so cool by by doing this and taking a black Sharpie marker and a red Sharpie marker and just kind of drawing that out. I mean, it looks kind of nice. I like it, but like obviously I wasn't built for graffiti art. Here is Boris from that series that I mentioned earlier, Alice in the Country of Blank. What I failed to mention was that each one of those books was kind of a different love storyline between Alice and like a certain character. So this was the Cheshire Cat personified as a character named Boris, and then you would go through that path line of like a romance story. I obviously thought he was cute, and that's why I even bothered to draw him. And that kind of correlates towards my taste in my drawings today too. It's kind of funny actually. I could tell whenever I did something like this in my sketchbook, I started off with an idea and it didn't go my way, so I immediately was like, you know what, let's just like do anything as a replacement. So I was probably like, okay, let's just heavily shade it and make the illusion of it being cool, but it's not really cool. The next drawing we have, of course, is Grease from Hetalia, okay? Let's stop acting like we all didn't have a Hetalia face. I'm sick of it. We all went through that. It's alright, just admit it. I mean, I like this character because he was, like, sleepy all the time with cats. I just thought that that was cute, so that's why I drew him. Obviously, I'm not into the I'm not into the manga anymore because I grew up and was like, well, this is, like, kind of cringe, so I stopped reading it or watching it. But I don't know, I kind of like the drawing. It didn't seem too bad. Every now and again, I would try a different art style that was, like, quote-unquote realistic. Now, obviously, this is the farthest thing from realism that you can get because it's still very cartoonily proportionate and not shaded properly and all that stuff. But I ended up really liking this one, and I think it's because her eyes are really pretty, and she's just overall, like, a really pretty character. So, yeah, I mean, I like her. Now, for the next drawing, usually I've talked about this in my older sketchbook tours, that I had a really rough time expressing myself growing up, and it would be really bad. And I would end up drawing a lot of these feelings out just so I wouldn't do these feelings to myself. And this one was very graphic, so I really couldn't show you guys this one. I have shown some ones previously, and I did express that, hey, like, it's not going to be, like, a pretty picture or whatever. It is kind of rough to look at. So if you do go back and watch some older sketchbook tours, that's also a warning from here to there, is just be very careful because I do put those warnings up in case someone is uncomfortable with it. Now, moving on to this drawing, I could tell that I sketched it out, and I was like, I want to use color here, but I don't know what color, so I chose the color black, of course. And I used a black Sharpie marker because at that time I didn't have any really cool or good art supplies. I wasn't good enough to even bother getting good supplies, nor did I have money. So I just kind of used that black Sharpie marker, did the whole drawing, and I thought it was cool at the time. Now, this drawing right here, I don't like it. I'm just going to be real. The side profile looks like doo-doo. I still actually struggle with side profiles till today. I should work on that more. It just doesn't look right. The hands look like claws or talons. The headphones are like flat into his hair, so it doesn't look like a 3D object. It just kind of looks like it's attached to the side of his head and onward. So that's a no-go for me. Now, for a lot of drawings, I usually can remember like what was going on or where I was when I was drawing it or what was the inspiration. This, none of that. I don't remember why I drew this, what was the inspo. Nothing. It kind of looks like a lady in armor almost, but like not armor, so it doesn't make any sense. Especially because, why would it? She's like in a dress, but like maybe that was just like the fashion style I kind of chose to go with. I don't know. I kind of like her, but weird. And then we finally come to the last drawing of the sketchbook, and I think he is absolutely adorable. He's very cute. I used to put like the cat ears and tail on a lot of characters, or dog ears or whatever, just whatever I felt like, honestly. And I love him. I kind of actually want to redraw him too, because I don't know, he's got like a soft spot in my heart, you know, like that. He's one of the drawings that stands out in my mind even till this day whenever I think of a lot of the drawings that I've done. So he's definitely a runner-up for something being redrawn. Now, as per usual, I would put a little message in the back because I thought it was like super cool to do, and I was like, yeah, I'm an artist. Why don't I do that? I'm obviously not reading that. I'm never gonna read these because I don't want to sit here and cry from the cringiness. So if you want to read that, you're welcome to. Me? No, no, no. Then finally we have the last page of the sketchbook, and I know one of the sketches is inappropriate. I can't show it. Sometimes my friends would take it and then, like, you know, draw whatever on it, and I just can't show them. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the end of that sketchbook. Now we move on to the second sketchbook, which usually I would always get a second sketchbook at the end of like December, because that's when the next technical school year would start, right? So this one is from like the end of December to the end of like May at this point. Now, we begin the sketchbook with a drawing that I still like till this day. I think that this is one of my favorite sketchbooks that I've done from when I was younger, and I remember just being really proud of a lot of the sketches in here. This is obviously Sora from Kingdom Hearts. He was like on a postcard, and I just like, I really fell in love with how he looks by it. There were other characters, but of course I couldn't draw them because I didn't think I could, so I didn't bother. But I really remember being proud of how this came out, and I wanted to like explore how much more I could do in the future because of this drawing alone. Now, I always feel like you can tell when it's me drawing an OC versus like a character that's from somewhere else, because my OCs were very like messy when it came to outfits or like character design, proportions, all that stuff. So this is definitely an OC because of the sole fact that it's not that great. It's not horrible. Like, I've seen, again, much worse that I've done, but it definitely came from my imagination. The next drawing is of two fairies that I kind of put around on mushrooms. I don't think it's honestly that horrible. Okay, their eyes are freakishly huge. Now, I always had that problem. I still, again, have that problem today, where I draw eyes too big. I've gotten significantly better at it, don't get me wrong, but at least now I can check myself and be like, hold on, this don't look right. Back then I'd just be like, wow, this looks great, because I wasn't like aiming for perfection, I was just aiming to draw, like I said earlier. This right here is Yo? I think I'm saying it right, Yo. From the manga called High School Debut. I read that manga and I bought the entire collection. I fell in love with it immediately. I was so like invested into it, and I loved Yo and everything, his whole personality, and I loved the entire story. I remember it just being dummy juicy, and I was like, bro, like I gotta read the whole thing over and over again, and I did. And honestly, the drawing isn't too bad. I just beat myself up because it didn't look exactly like him, which is gonna be, again, impossible unless you're like a copying machine. Of course, here's another drawing of an OC. I honestly can't remember if this was supposed to be Nikki or not. I don't think it was, for the sole factor that every time I drew Nikki, I would write his name next to him, and I didn't write it for him. But for some reason, something's telling me that it was, so I'm just gonna go 50-50 on that because I cannot remember for the life of me. Now, of course, the next drawing, again, from what series? Alice in the Country of Blank. This was the character Elliot March. He was supposed to be the bunny. I don't remember or know the real name of the actual characters. I just remember these characters because I didn't really watch Alice in Wonderland growing up. I just kind of read this manga because, you know, they were cute guys. Of course I'm gonna fucking read it, you know? Like, of course. And I remember I really liked Elliot March because he was super pretty and super cute, and the whole bunny thing going on, you know, of course, because I'm lame. What do you want from me? I'm sorry. Here's another drawing of Elliot, and I remember being so disappointed in myself with this one because so many people would be like, this is a girl, and I'd be like, no, this is Elliot, this is a guy. And I remember at one point I had like a style crisis because I was like, dang, I keep drawing my guys like girls. Fast forward now, and I do draw all my guys like girls anyway, so it never really mattered. Now, for this drawing, I could see the vision, but my skill was not there to like comprehend what was going on in my brain, okay? So, obviously her anatomy is like really messed up. I low-key think she looks like a One Piece character. Never really watched One Piece growing up besides like the 4Kids episodes that would come on Saturdays, but that's about it. She's not horrible, but she could be way better. Yeah. This one I remember being super proud of, okay? Because number one, this dealt with like perspective, and hadn't really drawn that. This is, by the way, from the cover of, I think, a manga called Haganai, I Don't Have Any Friends. My friend had told me to read it, and I really liked the cover. The story, not so much. That shit was kind of corny. But, but the art was kind of nice, so I was like, I kind of want to draw this, and I remember really liking how it came out, so I'm still proud of this drawing till this day. Okay, so this drawing, I tried doing like a family photo picture thing. Oh man, this is like really bad. I'm actually looking at this right now and it's pretty bad. Okay. As per usual, none of the clothing makes sense. I'd like to think the guy on the right is probably the most normal looking out of the three of them. They're giving me Jonas Brothers for some reason, but I didn't really like Jonas Brothers growing up. So like, I don't know. I think I just tried to like, challenge myself by drawing more than one character in a drawing. Now, of course, we have yet another OC. I actually kind of don't think he looks too bad. You know what he kind of looks like, low-key? Dot, Hack, Slash, that entire anime series, that one guy with the hat. I'll put his picture up. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but it low-key reminds me of that entire universe or world very much. Like, RuneScape-y, whatever. I don't know. So I remember at one point I wanted to do an OC that was like a rock star, and that was him. And I remember really liking how this came out, and I still like how this came out. For once, my crazy clothing choices kind of actually worked to my benefit, right? Because we have the mismatching vest, the tiger stripe arm tattoos, and all the belts and accessories. They actually work this time, which is kind of nice. I like that, and I kind of might want to redraw him. This one, you ever just like look at a page in your sketchbook and you're disappointed, right? This is one of them. Like, even till this day, I think he was like disgusting. Like, I wrote down right there, go away, you know, poop, you smell. I give up, I can't draw anymore, because it just looked so bad to me. Like, it didn't look right. Sometimes I felt like I would regress in my like skills, and like that was one of those drawings where I was like, I should just stop. Now, after using the first page as like a drawing of Sora, I kind of felt like drawing him again because I did so well on the first page. I was like, let's do it again and see how far we can get. So I printed out that image to the left, and I was like, let's go ahead and try our best. And I remember really liking how he came out. I think it came out pretty alright. Of course, the values of the shading need a little bit more work. They could be darker in some areas compared to others. But overall, I think it came out pretty nice. So I remember one of my favorite things to do was take my friends and then draw them in my style as anime guys, and I remember just having so much fun with it because I could really take their personality and put it into a drawing and kind of how I thought that they would look like in the anime world in my style, and it was just like a really fun thing that I would do. And I kind of miss that thing, right, where you just take your friends, you draw them just because of practice and fun. Here is like a quick doodle page of guy eyes versus girl eyes, again just to kind of decipher between the two, especially because I had a lot of troubles with that, so I thought that it would help if I sat down and draw it out. The next page, sometimes I would just sit down and do some lettering and draw it and color it out. There was no particular reason why. I think by this point I was over my graffiti phase, and I just wanted to doodle something out. It's nothing too complicated, it's literally just the word love. The next drawing is just a really simple sketch. Sometimes I would just doodle things out and I didn't want to shade or do a whole bunch of everything around it. I just wanted to draw a character, and I was like, you know what, why not? He doesn't look too awful in comparison to, again, a lot of characters that I would draw, but I think at this point I was starting to get better just because I was drawing often enough. The next page is just a doodle page once again. She's actually really cute. I kind of like the way she looks. It's giving me very 70s vibes going on around here. I think that I was trying to just practice and then write down what I was like needing to work on, which I do that sometimes even now, where I'm like, oh, this needs to be fixed, or this, but for the most part, I really think she looks pretty cute. The next drawing, I think by the time I hit this part of this sketchbook, this one in particular, I just kind of stopped doing finalized drawings. Maybe you'll see some more, but for the most part, I remember just kind of like wanting to be done with the sketchbook because I didn't want it anymore. So I was like, you know what, we'll just doodle on pages and see what we can do. This doodle isn't too bad though. Obviously proportions are off yet again. It doesn't look right. It's just not bad for me at that time. Here is some guy with the eye patch. I think I was trying to do something off of Metal Gear Solid, specifically probably Raiden, and draw him, but then I was like, I messed up, and then I just kind of turned it into whatever I could from there. The next sketch, there's really nothing special to it. It's just a doodle. I think I just forced myself to draw something because why not? Sometimes I would just draw like an eye or whatever and then fill in the gaps, and it never looked right because it was never coherent. So it's just a shit doodle. The next drawing is just an OC that I did. Let's read the words on the left. Woo, Shekshi face, 3 sign, or 3 colon whatever. Oh yes, X3. He ugly as hell. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. He just ugly as hell. I don't know why I thought he looked good. Coming up on the next page, we have some more like, I think just practice / doodles. I did 3 different kinds of faces just because I wanted to. I don't like any of these 3. The bottom one on the right, like it says best one yet. I agree with that one. I think it looks pretty nice. Up next, we have some more eye practice of girl eyes versus boy eyes, and it was from this manga which I was obsessed with for years, called Gakuen Oji. Waited for the translation to be done, never happened. Maybe I'll look back into it today and see see how it goes, but I'm not sure. But I remember I really liked the art style. I thought it was like incredible, and I really wanted to become as good as that mangaka, and obviously I don't know if it ever happened, but but I just really wanted to practice it. So here is a OC that I remember really liking, and I actually redrew him maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I'm gonna put the picture up right next to him, and I remember just loving the way this character looked, to the point where I was like, I need to update him in my current style, which was 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I can't remember. So maybe I'll redraw him again just to see if I've gotten better since the redraw. Everything about him I loved, and I still love, from the tail to the ears to his name, which is Bun. Yes, very corny. Next, we have this drawing right here. I think it was just a doodle, and then I just used some manga pens to go in and, like, you know, make it look cool, but it didn't really make it look cool. It just didn't. Up next, we have Nikki. Now, it's funny seeing this, right, because it says Nikki, he looks exactly how I imagined, and I remember being, like, so happy that he turned out the way he did, because I was like, oh my god, I finally did it, I drew Nikki the way I wanted. Looking back at that is crazy, because this is the most recent picture of Nikki that I've done, and coming from this one back in 2013 to this one 10 years later almost, in 2023, it's so different, but the one that is the most recent is what I believe he looks like, but it's just crazy how far I've come. Here is yet again nothing special, just another doodle that I kind of put in the back of the sketchbook. I think what I really liked about him at that time was his face and his hair, and then I just kind of stuck a body under it because I was like, let's see if I could take it any further. But once I started doing the body, I was like, this isn't going any further, is it? So I just remember giving up on it, but I still kind of like the way his hair looks and face looks till today, so I guess I'm not that different in terms of what I like from back then to now. Of course, we have another doodle. This time I think I tried to complete it, and since I signed and dated it, I guess that means that I did complete it. I don't really like the way this looks now. I don't think I did back then either, because it says meh right there, and that usually indicates that, like, it was kind of doo-doo. So I agree. Past Ward and I are shaking hands right now. This does kind of look like doo-doo. Now, up next, we have just another shit doodle. I won't even spend more than like 10 seconds on this. It's butt. I don't like it. Next. Wow, would you look at that? Another unfinished drawing. Incredible. Okay, so after that, I have, of course, right here, the artist message, and, like, wow, I really like this book, and a lot of it was doo-doo at the same time, so, yeah, whatever. Not reading that gave you the summary good enough. Now, from here on, there was actually a lot of blank pages left in the sketchbook. And I really do mean a lot. And the reason why is because I just didn't feel like having the sketchbook anymore. For me, feeling the sketchbook was like a huge thing. And if I didn't feel it anymore, I wasn't gonna use it. So that's exactly what happened. I didn't feel it and I was like, forget it. I do have this in the back though. This was actually something that I drew for one of those notebooks that you could slip something onto the cover so you can make your own cover in the sketchbook. And I just did this black, white, and red insane thing. And I honestly think it's still really cool, and the fact that I could even put something in my notebook to kind of give it some personality in the front was really nice, and I kind of like doing this kind of thing every so often. The rest that is like in the back is just some printed images that I either wanted to draw or couldn't get to, and even this little homework note that I had from back then or what I had to do. That's basically that's basically the entire junior year sketchbook phase that I had. From this point I could tell that I was getting a lot better, but I also was not getting a lot better because I wasn't practicing anything. Overall, I enjoyed doing these sketchbooks, and although it embarrassed me and made me cringe to go through it with you guys, I enjoyed flipping through it and looking into the past anyway. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and thank you for watching, and remember, I love you. Bye!